Good evening, everybody. Jason Meyer here of Meyer Studio. And tonight on Masterworks, we're going to look at a Russian master named Ivan Shishkin. If you're familiar with Russian painting at all, you are probably familiar with him. But tonight we're going to look at three similarly formatted, same subject paintings of his with vastly different moods. And I thought this would be effective, and let's really look at how the value separation and the value shapes contribute to the mood of the painting, the clarity and the mystery. So let's see, we already, Shakti, hello Shakti, thanks for joining us. And Susan's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I think you guys are going to be pretty pleased with this tonight. So let's have a screen share and just get started. So again, this is Ivan Shishkin. And oops, I'm just hitting all the wrong buttons. Sorry guys. Things keep getting moved around a little bit. But let's just take a second, and like always, just take this in. You don't even need to analyze it, but I always like to approach a painting open. And what does it evoke? What does it call forth in you? Feelings, emotions. Are you attracted? Are you repelled? Okay, and I think before I analyze these, why don't we just have a look at all three of them? So this is number one. Yeah. Yeah, we're just getting started. Wait. Here's number two. Here's number two. And again, just take it in. Just take it in. But does this give you a different feeling than that last painting? Mr. Tom, thanks for joining us, bud. Good to see you. We're looking at some similar format, different mood, Ivan Shishkin paintings tonight. And this is number two. Okay, let's have a look at number three. Okay, so these are all basically vertical paintings, right? They're longer vertically than they are horizontally. All of them are paintings of the woods, but vastly different. Things like that make me go, what is happening here? What is happening here? Okay, so fair warning, here comes the pointer. Here comes the pointer. So first off, let's just pay attention to what we pay attention to when we're painting, our darks. What kind of dark shape do you see in this painting? And just how much dark is there? Well, we've got this, right? And a little bit, as far as dark goes, we got a little bit right here. right up front, just to let us know we're in the forest. But there's so much sunshine back here that this dark just acts more as kind of an anchor. But it's not bringing you down, right? It's just holding you from floating off. Okay, so what are some of the predominant colors that you see and feel in this painting? Probably definitely said green, right? All this foreground and shadow is basically red and green, orange and green, right? When I say red and orange, I'm not talking cad red, cad orange. I'm talking the hue orange, the hue family red. And yeah, they're more neutral, but it's red and green. And there's even some purple. I even see some purple. Hey, there's my beautiful bride, Miss Cindy Meyer. And then there's a good deal of yellow in here. Back behind the green and the red, the yellow. Well, that's uplifting. That's cheerful. Uh-oh. Let's see. We may be asking a lot of the computer here. We'll be gentle. We'll be gentle. And then it finally gives way. Do you feel that kind of purple? You call it blue, but it's a gray purple. And then the lightest light is here in the center. But even along this dark, there's that light, isn't there? Right? And even in the shadow here, you see that light streaming through. There's sunshine. There's sunshine. So what? So what? Well, how is that different from this? Oh, Janny, nice. Glad you guys like this. I go nuts over this stuff. I mean, I just go nuts over it. Okay, what kind of dark does he have in here? Is there more of it than last time? And where is it located? Yeah, there's more dark. It's kind of moved off the floor and more into the verticals. And there's a beautiful sunset happening. But how much of this yellow and green, these kind of uplifting, happy summer colors, are in this one compared to the last one? Yeah, you see that? There's definitely more dark. It's heavier. There's not as quite as much of the brighter colors. Yeah, there's some light ticking in here. Yeah, that's yeah, just agreed. You know, I do have bad allergies, so I don't get out. Basically, I don't get out of the house much anymore, but those are places that I love. I used to love. I could go for 4 or 5 hour mountain bike rides. And it was just all for this reason. Okay, so let's go one more. Well, okay. Okay, what's going on now? How much green? Well, let's start with the first question. How much dark? How much dark, and where is this dark located? This dark is kind of at the center of the canvas. And he's forced us to go through that dark. Right, that first painting we felt like we could just step right over that dark. In the second painting, there was dark, but we could definitely get through it. There was a clear light path. But here, we've got to traverse that dark. And he's shown us a way through. But look, there's no way around it. We've got to go through. But look, he doesn't leave us stranded in the dark. Boom, go right up to the color. But again, how much color and how strong is it? Are you guys picking up on that, the measure of them? Okay, so let's just go through one more time. Boom. You see, much different mood. Much different mood. Oh, yeah. So, what do you notice about the dark shape in this one? Is it clear? Can you clearly make out the silhouette? No, it's like an amorphous non-entity thing that's just existing there that we're going to have to go through. So literally this is a heavier painting. Now there's darks in here, but again, compare these dark shapes with the ones we just saw. Just simply the nature of the dark shape. We're not thinking trees. We're just thinking dark what is the nature of that dark value shape? And how does it differ? From the nature of those dark value shapes. Right here too, we have to travel through that dark. But again, there's a much clearer path. And look how that sky simplified. Right? You remember all that color? We have purple and orange and yellow. Right? It's just a value. Look what a simple, flat value it is. Gradating off. The same with the trees. Look how the near trees separate from the trees that step back. 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 Uh-oh, did we finally break it? Did we finally break it? Oh, it gave it. It gave it up. Okay. Alright. Like I said, we're going to try to crash this spaceship this month. We're going to see if we can do it. What about this? Now, there's a lot less dark. It's on the ground. We can step over it. We don't have to go through it. Right? And then the dark uprights aren't really that dark at all. But it's a lot more light filled. Do you guys see that? I'd love it if you guys would let me know. Yeah, I see. I recognize that the nature of the dark shape really affects, right, the composition, the mood, all of it. All right, well, let's flip this back right side up and see if we can do it without the spaceship crashing. Oh, It wants to crash. Give it a second. There it goes. So Susan can see it. Susan can see it. Good. Good, 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 good. If you don't see it yet, that's okay. That's okay. But see if you can feel the difference, right? Why does this scene feel different than the other ones? And again, you know, I've got nothing against talking about feelings and stuff, but if we're painters and we're artists and we want to get down to business, the only thing we can work with is a light value, gray value, dark, right? So what are the values doing? What are the shapes? What's the nature of the shape? How much of the canvas does it cover? How does that relate with the white? What's the relationship of the white to the proportion-wise? All right, let's turn it slow this time. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. I know I can't hop down on the floor and hop up like I used to. Excellent, Shakti. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah. Yeah, this guy, he's a giant among the painters. He extremely prolific, some extremely large stuff. And wow, I mean the beauty. The beauty. Okay, if you guys have any questions, let me know. We're just gonna work our way back. Be gentle with the computer. Don't turn the images too fast. There we go. And then I'd like to slowly just go back through the color ones and let's look again. And again, look at the feeling you get and pay attention to how those shapes differ. And again, this is all the same artist. Similar format, but vastly different. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Janie says, yeah, you're learning to see the shapes. Sometimes you have to work. Yeah, sometimes it comes easy. Sometimes you have to work at it, but you want to start kind of forcing yourself to relate to paintings like that. If you want to be an artist, if you want to be a painter, because we've got to get under the hood of the magic, right? We've got to make that magic happen, make that magic run. Purple on the tree in front. Does he use purple there to harmonize the painting? All right, well, we'll have a look at that. Let's go back through the color right now and have a look. Okay. So again, so we know the values, what the value does, and you can see it kind of anchoring everything down. But then this one feels much more colorful than the other ones. And then what colors are showing up? Right? That shadow in the trees and the ground is kind of a lively green, isn't it? Rather than a dark, heavy brown. And then beyond those lively greens are even lighter, livelier, lighter yellows. And then the dark of the uprights in the background is that kind of light purple, that cool purple. I mean, how much trouble can you get in with purple? And is this the one you're talking about, Shakti, with the purple in the trees up front? I'm asking because if you look carefully, he's basically got every color everywhere. But even though he's got every color everywhere, you clearly know what dirt, moss, and grass versus bark. So that's also good to notice is that, well, let's get under the hood. Let's see. So here's that purple gray I was talking about in the background. And yeah, that's kind of used as the infinity color here, isn't it? because I can feel that same color, even though darker, richer, I can feel it right here. Can you feel that? Purple. Where else do we have it? Right, that looks pretty like a dark, nasty purple to me right there. That feels purple. That feels yellow, orange, red. That feels green. All right, so if I come down here to the shadow, I feel orange here, warm. This feels green to me, but they're dark. They're both dark, but the green is green. The orange, the brown is brown. I hope you're able to see this order. Can you see how he's separated this with this darker warm green right here on the edge? Yeah, he's got some cool up here, but I'm talking right here to separate from this. Right? This and this are literally right next to one another. But in the painting, it looks like this is near, and then if you want to get over here, you're going to have to cross the creek and go down a little. Do you guys understand? I don't mean to talk like, can you understand? That fact right there, that this and this can be two pieces of mud sitting right next to one another, yet if we were walking through this picture, we would get here much sooner than we would get here. Wait, what? How? Without a lie, looking at a painting and seeing that was what hooked me. Never drawn, never painted in my life. I ended up in a museum. It happened to be a Cezanne painting, The Card Players. And his pant leg was right next to that back wall. But that pant leg was forward and that back wall was back there. It doesn't sound like much, but I just could never let it go. I could never let it go. Janie's asking how big these are. I would have to look. I don't know. Sometimes he painted very large, but not always. I'm going to imagine these are a decent size. I mean, these aren't small sketches. You won't get this kind of detail on the bark and stuff on something small. That's another reason I think it's probably a rather large painting. By the way, notice how much detail is up here. And then let's go to the next step. A little less detail in this step back into space. Okay, one more. A little, you see how every time we go back, there's less and less kind of detail. That's the less to more. Less to more. And did anybody notice these tree and this tree is about on the same plane? Look how differently he colored them. And I don't mean like colored color line, but look, this is an orange gray, and this is pretty much more of a purple gray. Yeah, this has got a little warm in it. Yeah, this has got some cool in it, but overall. But look at the bottom. They're anchored this. Do you see that? By anchoring them the same and making them about the same size, but he was there for, that way he didn't have a football goalpost here in the foreground. It's all these little tricky decisions. Where is this tree located? Where is this tree located? It's located right in front of a tree that's covered in green. The reason this shows up is because of that green there. You see the lightest light? The lightest background, the lightest yellow on the grass. We got that there, the yellow, and then the white again. So it's all lined up. Pretty clever, huh? Pretty clever. And then if you went and searching this green shape, again, I mean, it almost sounds silly, but I can literally have as much fun chasing this green shape as I did playing in these creeks as a kid. Not this particular creek, of course, but a creek is a creek is a creek, right? You're a kid, you're gonna run and splash and dig and get muddy, throw rocks, go exploring. We can do the same thing here. Do the same thing here. I feel like I'm going on. For what I thought, there's so much there, like really in the forest. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right there. And that's the thing, is it feels like he's painted the entire forest. But if you study it, he hasn't. Right? He's really got like 3 trees, you know, this one. Then he's just kind of suggesting stuff. Right? The dark. Anyway, I could go on and on and on. It's just, it's beautiful, you know? It's the reason I paint, right? If we could strive to do something that's beautiful. And again, are you starting to see a little pattern here? So we got the distant purple back there going away, a little orange on the horizon, gives way to some yellow. You remember this red is one flat value when we turned it to black. Isn't that interesting? Because it definitely looks a lot darker here, but in black and white it didn't read that way, did it? And look how this color is just continued right up this tree. And then he separated these almost like it's catching a little bit of that last rays of sunlight shooting through there. Again, it's important to see the groupings, right? And what I mean by grouping is the grouping of the value and color of the trees right here, right? See how they hold together as a group? And then these distant trees back here hold together as a group. It doesn't change a lot. Back here, it's grouped so that it reads a certain place in distance. And then even these little distant, it's grouped. Right? The people are all together. People? What do you mean people? Right? It just splashes of paint, but somehow there's people there. Right? Our brightest green around that beautiful silhouette of that tree. I mean, we could literally probably have a year-long course or more just going through a single one of these paintings. Or I could. I don't know how many people would like that, but just everywhere you look, do we talk about going darker, richer to light? Just look at that color of run in this puddle right there. Look how he ends that shape. And then how did he manage to get all these shapes so different? Because I know when I do that, man, I've got one puddle that's the same as the second puddle, same as the third puddle, as the fourth puddle, as the fifth puddle. No, this thing skips through there, each one with a unique voice. All right, I've been a little long-winded tonight. You know, even the sky holes, you see the variety in the shapes, big and small. and not too much. Again, this reads because look, there's solid green basically behind it. And when do you think he did this? Why do you think all of a sudden he's gone to red and a brighter green? Well, because he needed a certain amount of weight up there. All right. I get lost of these and I feel like I'm getting caught with my mouth open, standing in my underwear or something. Right, all very beautiful in their own way, but really basically the same format, more or less the same subject matter, but three vastly different paintings. Okay, so again, I hope this is expanding your imagination that, you know, when we're doing our compositional studies, when we're doing our color schemes, we want to be searching for this stuff, right? We're not just trying to do it to turn it into the teacher so he can check it off so you can go on to your painting. No. There's beauty to be found. So much beauty to be found. From the color, from the shape of that dirt. Look at the shape, that active shape of that dirt road. And speaking of shapes, what about the water that water, look at that shape. And speaking of shapes, what about the shadow under the grass on the edge? Right? You know how I've been talking that you can't do a straight line? You said you can't do a straight... Yeah, but look, he hasn't... He's broken it. He's broken it. He's broken it. He's broken it. He's got some flats. He's got some flats. He's got some flats. The same thing. Look at the speed of this. That is so fast and sharp. How did he get away with that? Not once, but twice, 3, 4, 5. Well, because there's more than one, that's one reason. Right? But again, look, they're stopped into these very dynamic shapes. And one reason he can have this big stop you shape is because we start with such momentum. Whoom, whoom, whoom. Now, if these shapes aren't so active, are we going to make it through that water? Or are we going to feel like we're stuck on this side of that puddle? And look, not only that, but he cranked the color up here on each side so that we can get around this thing. But then the whispers start. And we're going to walk into the forest. It's going to be dark soon. Right? If anybody's had that walk, it's extremely peaceful and at the same time extremely frightening. At least if you're in a forest you don't know. Right? Because once it gets dark, woo! Okay, guys. As I said, we could go on and on and on. But I think 30 minutes is enough. And we'll come back and visit these again. So thank you so much for being with me. I do so appreciate you guys. Please make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you like it. And if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. I'll be going live weekdays. That's 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 times a day. So be sure to step back in and visit us again. Thank you, Shakti. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. We just got to walk through 3 forests for our walk tonight. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate you guys so much. More than you can possibly know. All right. Good night, everybody.